in my experience, and this can always change, past isn't necessarily prologue, but from the left and the right, presidential candidates have talked about the U.S.-China relationship in fairly stark terms during the campaign season, and generally, as they've come to govern, have come back to the moderate center, because that's where American interests lie. And I would expect that to continue if I were to prognosticate this time. We have very strong interests in China, and we need to find ways to realize those interests true to American values and with a careful eye on American priorities. But we need to engage the Chinese because our economies are so integrated, our futures are so integrated, and our peoples are increasingly integrated. On the Chinese side, you have coming up in the fall the Chinese Communist Party's Congress, which is where the real action takes place. And then in the spring of the next year, there will be the National People's Congress that puts in place the individuals in state government positions. So this is a once-in-a-decade major change in Chinese leadership that's coming up. And there is what is akin to a political season in China, comparable to what we're going through in the United States. So this is a sensitive period and a time when one can expect the Chinese to be conservative, to try to avoid controversies that will create problems for the country during this transition. And it is a dangerous time. I was in Hong Kong when SARS broke out, and that happened between the Party Congress in the fall and the subsequent National People's Congress in the spring. And that's a time when you've got lame ducks in charge in China. It's very difficult to get bold, quick decisions out of the Chinese system at that time. So this is actually a period over the next year and a half or so of heightened interest, I suppose you could say. One hopes that stability will be the watchword, and I certainly think that will be the Chinese government's attempt. Much will depend on the international scene.